We knew the Witcher TV show would die after season 3 because Henry Cavill wasn't going to be Geralt anymore. Yes, the other actors are still in it, but the star that got so many people interested in it will be gone, and they still have to convince people to watch season 3 because of that. But it seems like the creatives are panicking over the backlash because now they're begging people to give the show another chance. I have a bunch of things to show off, but before we get into the topic at hand, if you enjoy the content that I create, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media like Twitter or mine so that you can see when my content is posted. And of course, if you do really enjoy the videos and the live streams that I create, please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon for just $1 a month, or support the channel via YouTube memberships. All of the links are in the description, and of course, I do really appreciate all of the support. So this is a CBR article. It says The Witcher showrunner addresses fan backlash to Henry Cavill's exit. I think the way that they announced his exit was the worst way they could have. Not only did they announce that this actor that everyone loves is leaving the project, but at the same time they announced a new actor who is going to be replacing him. I think that they should have spaced that out, and they would have faced less backlash because it would have given people time to process the fact that he's gone, he's not going to be in season 4, but they decided to throw all of this information at us, which I just think was a really poor decision. It says, after over a month after Henry Cavill announced his departure from The Witcher and the fan backlash arose, the showrunner Lauren Hisrich has addressed the news, admitting that it will be a massive change, but urging audiences to continue watching. I know I personally am going to have very little interest in season 4. I am going to watch season 3 because Cavill will still be in it. It is his last season, and I want to see how the show is going to go in a new direction, because they have said that season 3 is going to be a bit different than the other two, but I don't really have a lot of faith in this show at this point. Unfortunately, Henry Cavill seemed to be the only glue to this project. He was the only one who really cared about things like the source material, and now that he's gone, I just don't think that these showrunners are going to respect these works. She said, it's a big deal for us too, and that's the thing. There's a lot of talk and rumors about, and we fully understand why fans are going there. What I will say is, please come back for The Witcher Season 3 so that we can continue to do this. Obviously, Cavill's departure is huge news, but what I don't want to do is this has to stay about Blood Origin. Declan, the cast, and the crew, their time is in the spotlight. So she's not only saying that it's a big deal for them too, but please come back to watch another season, which is just hilarious because she's at the point where she is begging people to give the show more chances. And I truly think that they are going to see a massive drop in numbers when it comes to season 3 going into season 4, because there's currently a petition with over 277,000 signatures from people saying we want Henry Cavill back and we are going to boycott season 4 of this series. I don't really have a lot of hope in The Witcher show at this point. I liked season 1 and 2. They did have their problems. I'm not saying that they were perfect at all, but they were still enjoyable, and I thought that Cavill did a great job as the character that he played. But again, he is the glue to this project. He was described as the Witcher Bible on set by his co-stars, like Ciri's actress and Yennefer's actress. They said that he was constantly carrying around the books, taking dialogue from the book, saying, oh, I should say this or we should do that. And unfortunately, we have heard that behind the scenes, it's very different with the creatives. The Witcher Netflix writers allegedly hated the books and games, which of course is absurd. You are working with this amazing material. You should be so excited to be able to work with it and, work with these very talented actors. You should be wanting to respect the material, and unfortunately, it sounds like they really didn't. It says The Witcher books and games were actively disliked by the TV show writers. DeMeo used to work on the Witcher Netflix series, although he has moved on to write X-Men 97 for Disney+, but he said, my general rule was you had to be a fan, no questions. I've been on shows, namely The Witcher, where some of the writers were not or actively disliked the books and games, even actively mocking the source material. It's a recipe for disaster and bad morale. Fandom as a litmus test checks egos and makes all the long nights worth it. You have to respect the work before you're allowed to add to its legacy, which I, of course, completely agree with. I think if you're going to work with this material, you have to love it and you have to respect it, because ultimately it is not your creation. Yes, you can make small, minor changes, maybe to costumes or dialect, and there are things that you can change with characters in the setting a little bit to make it better on screen, but they made some massive changes to the story, to the characters, to the pacing with this show, and it just hasn't really paid off. Of course, The Witcher show is successful and Netflix has shoved a lot of money into it and people do like it currently. But again, we all have a lot of problems with it. It's not perfect, but knowing that Cavill is gone and he's not going to be Geralt anymore, and along with the writers actively disliking the source material, I just don't really see a way that another season could succeed. I know a lot of people really want Henry to actually write for the show, become a writer, a producer, a creative, and become part of that team, even though he's not on screen. I don't think that they're going to do that, because I think that he does have larger opportunities. He's going to be playing Superman. We don't know in what capacity, if it's going to be multiple movies or a series, but we do know that he is back as Superman, and I think that that is, his goal. I think that that's really what he wants to do. But if I was Netflix, I would have paid him a ton of money. He is in Enola Holmes, so he's already working with Netflix. I think that they should have handed him a bunch of money, like 20, 30, 40 million dollars, because he was getting almost $18 million for each Superman movie. I think that they should have shoved him a lot of money and said, you're going to do Enola Holmes, you're going to do The Witcher, and we'll give you another series. And honestly, I feel like he probably would have stayed, because his jobs would have been set for a very long time. Let's say maybe like a 10-year contract. But ultimately, yes, sadly, Henry Cavill is gone, and it seems like the showrunners and the creatives are freaking out about the backlash, and they're very worried that people are not going to give season 3 a chance, and they're basically begging people to return to the show. But I just don't think that this approach is going to work. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.